Hi, this is Win Claybaugh. Welcome to my Best of Masters weekly audio blog for AmericanSalon.com. Next up is one of my favorite clips from the last 20 years of inspiring interviews from Masters Audio Club.
Ken and Jane LaPrairie happened to be former employees. Ken was an employee at Lockworks and moved to New Orleans, married. And they're a wonderful couple. They've adopted 3 beautiful children. And they had a salon that was doing, in big salon, doing $1.5 million, almost $2 million a year, and right in Old Metairie. And basically the salon got flooded and wiped out. And here they were. They show up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They have very little with them. They didn't pack any of their clothes. They didn't bring anything. They didn't even have a lot of money with them. And what people don't understand is the banking system was shut down, because a lot of the headquarters of their banks locally were all washed away. So the communication was wiped out. So people like Ken and Jane were looking for work. They were looking for schools for their children. They were looking for clothes. They were looking for food. They had lost everything.
Isn't that amazing? Again, they have $1.5 million salon, and overnight,
gone.
They're looking for food.
They're
looking for clothes.
Yeah,
they're looking for...
Yeah. And one of the things and I had one person, we went down there and actually gave money away and handed out cash or cashier's checks to people that we had qualified that were in need. I actually had a couple of hairdressers come up to me afterwards and say, "When do I have to repay the money?" And I said, "Sweetheart, you don't have to repay the money." I said, "This is money that hairdressers are collecting on your behalf because they're thankful they're not in your position. They're compassionate people and they want to help. And so this is your money, and we'll try to get you more." And that's why I continue, and I know you continue to work on it. So it's interesting when you watch what people go through. But the second thing I learned is that about half, if not more, of the people literally, once they get a sense that you're there for them and there is hope, the very next thing that comes out of their mouth is, "How can I help?" Wow. I have one guy that worked for me for many years. He's probably in his mid-40s. He had his whole life based down there, two blocks from the convention center in New Orleans. He's HIV positive. He's been that way for many years. He has to be very careful with the medication. And I spoke with him right after, and then again about 3 or 4 days after that. He was worried about where he was going to get his medicine, what he was going to do, and he was just completely frazzled. I said, "Look, here's some money, and let this help you for now." And about 4 days later, I get a call, and he says, "Okay." He says, "I got my game hat back on. I'm ready. Let's do a big cut-a-thon. Let's do something to raise money to help everybody. We know all the people that are hurting and suffering." And so it's devastating. It's terrible. But the key word is hope. It is. And we're lucky. We have such a great industry. All you got to do is, shampoo a head of hair, and you're in business. Yeah. You can start doing hair and make people feel good, and it's just a great business in that way.
Tell us some more personal stories.
One of the things that was the hardest for me was what happened with Mark Palermo. I immediately started trying to figure out where the key vendors were. That would be the Paul Mitchell group, which is Mark Palermo's group, and some of these people like that, some of the Armstrong McCall. And so I was able to find out that Mark was in Slidell, and it was a washaway. So probably the worst thing I saw was I went to Slidell, and we met. Steve Cowan drove down from Illinois, and we met. He had a large truck. And I'd actually gone in the day before to see the area, to see if we could get in, and had talked to Mark on phone. Went to where his home was and saw first off, I saw the boat. He had a boat that had literally been lifted up from a 26-foot boat. Picture a beautiful neighborhood with $500,000 homes in it. This is not the slum. This is an amazing neighborhood. And all these boats have been floating around. This one was floated right to his front door, literally sitting in his front door. So we went to his place. We helped unload a bunch of things and helped him out. He didn't want us to help him do the actual physical work because you have to have vaccinations before you could dig in the mud and all. We went in his home, and the house was filled with mud, 6 inches deep. The furniture was turned over. Everything was washed away. He had seen his neighbors face down, an elderly couple, floating face down in the waterway that was in the back of his home where he kept his boat. Probably the saddest thing of that was, and I guess it was happy in a way, they had all their family photographs. spread out in the back of the SUV in the trunk of a car, carefully peeling them off one by one so they could dry, and to see how to get them. And they saved that. That's all they saved. They saved the photographs of their children's lives from they were little. And that was probably just about the saddest thing I saw.